If you've ever had a cake fail, then today's video is for you. I'm taking you through my top 5 cake baking mistakes. Today we're going to show you what not to do in the kitchen. So let's get started. Coming in at number 5, we have not being prepared. Read through your recipe completely from beginning to end, even the notes. Turn your oven on so it's nice and hot. Get all of your ingredients out and pre-measure things. So you want your milk, your butter, your eggs to be all room temperature so that they're gonna mix nicely and you're not putting ice cold things in the oven. When you put ice cold ingredients in cake batter and you pop that into the oven, the center of your cake takes way longer to bake. So when you're baking your cake layers, you're gonna find the edge sets quickly, the middle continues to rise because those ingredients were cold, and you have a domed cake, which is not fun to decorate. So be prepared. Coming in at number 4, we have opening your oven. Why is that a mistake, you might think? You have to open your oven. But here's the deal. Your oven should stay closed for most of the bake. If your cake calls for a 35-minute bake time, I set my timer for 30 minutes and then I'll start taking a look, maybe the 34-minute mark. Just keep an eye on it. Don't go in after 10 minutes or after 15 minutes because they're so delicate before the cake has set. So what's gonna happen is if you bump it, if it just gets too cold and feels bad that day, your cake will deflate and it's not gonna come back. Just don't open that oven too soon. Number 3, you followed your recipe to a T. Everything came out perfectly and you're ready to assemble your cake. But the mistake is not waiting until it is completely cool. It doesn't mean not hot anymore. It means no residual heat is left inside of that cake because your buttercreams and your fillings can melt so easily and you're asking your cake to defy gravity if it's a layer cake, let alone having tiers. They need to be cool to room temperature and your icing needs to be properly set as well. You can let me know in the comments if you've had a cake collapse. It's happened to me before. In fact, I'll tell you the video. It was my royal wedding cake video. Number 2, this is a battle. Number 1 and 2 are really close, but number 2 is mismeasuring your flour. It is so easy to mismeasure it if you're not using a scale. If you watch my channel, you know that I use a kitchen scale. It's not expensive, doesn't take up a lot of room, but it comes in so handy. 1 cup of flour, depending on the kind of flour, should be 120 grams, but look what happens when you just scoop up the flour. I'll even level it off. I'm even gonna level it off for this. That's 150 grams. So I packed 30 extra grams of flour in there. And just because the flour was mismeasured, your cake is gonna be dry, it's gonna be bready, it's gonna be denser, and it's just not gonna be delicious. You're gonna be disappointed. If you don't have a scale, that's totally fine. You can fluff and sprinkle. So fluff the flour up, fluff, fluff, fluff. Sprinkle it in. You want to preserve all those pockets of air in between those little granules of flour and measure it out. 121 grams, so 1 gram extra doesn't matter at all. Much more accurate to fluff and sprinkle, just don't scoop, don't do it. The number 1 mistake making cakes. I love my mixer, I love my hand mixer, but the biggest mistake you can make is over mixing your batter. If you look at most recipes, they'll say mix until combined. My recipes often say mix until almost combined. You still see a couple pockets of flour hanging out here and there because even when you're mixing on low, oh, it's not plugged in. Even when you're mixing on low, you don't have the ultimate control like you do if you mix it by hand. So when you make your next cake, mix those ingredients until they're almost all incorporated, then switch to your hand and just fold the ingredients in until all the flour has disappeared and stop. If you overmixed your cake batter, you're gonna develop the gluten, which is a protein in your flour, and gluten's necessary in bread, for example, because you need to have that nice chewy texture that makes bread so amazing. But cake is supposed to have a melt in your mouth texture. Don't overmix your batter, mix it until just combined. Don't make the other mistakes, and we're gonna have a great time in the kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun to make. If you have more questions, leave them in the comments below and check out my cake playlist. See you in the next video.